Bonjour et bienvenue ici State House. Donc, un petit moment, nous pourrons accueillir l'arrivée du président de la République. President of the Republic of Seychelles, Mr. Wavell Ramkalawan, Vice President Ahmed Afif, Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Roger Mancien, Leader of Government Business in the National Assembly, Honorable Bernard Georges, the Attorney General, Mr. Frank Ali, Commissioner of Police, Mr. Ted Babe, Chief of Defense Forces, Brigadier Michael Rosette, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Gervais Henry, Secretary of State for Cabinet Affairs, Mr. Mohamed Afif, Chairperson of the Truth and Reconciliation and National Unity Commission, Mrs. Gabrielle McIntyre, and all the commissioners of the commission, welcome, good morning. And un grand bonjour pour tous nos bons auditeurs qui peuvent écouter nous et peuvent regarder nous la télévision bon matin. Bienvenue ici State House. Pour présentation officielle d'un rapport Trnuc avec le président de la République. Pour commencer notre cérémonie, we will officially pass to the presentation of the final report, and I would like to call on members of the commission to come forward to present the report, the documents to the president. Thank you, commissioners. We will now pass to the delivering of statements. I would be grateful, Mr. President, if you can take your place on the lectern. And I would also invite the chairperson of the Trnuc to first deliver her statement.
Mr. President, distinguished guests, fellow commissioners, and all other protocols followed. It's both an honour and a relief for me to be here today, 31 March 2023, with my fellow commissioners for the purpose of handing over in full the final report of the Truth, Reconciliation and National Unity Commission of Seychelles. It has been a privilege for me to lead the work of the Commissioner's chairperson over the last 3 years and 7 months, and to work with the National Commissioners in the discharge of the mandate of the Commission. I am extremely grateful to all those who put their trust in the work of the Commission, the complainants, the perpetrators who came forward, and the many witnesses who assisted the Commission in its work. I'm also extremely grateful to those staff of the Commission who worked in the interests of the Commission as an independent and impartial institution. The work of the Commission has not been easy. The objectives of the Commission were ambitious, its resources and capacity limited, and the challenges and obstacles endless. At times, the Commission felt isolated, unsupported by government, vilified by segments of the public, weighed down by responsibility and the sense of an impossible task. Yet the Commission managed to successfully weather all these challenges, and it was able to do so because of the inner strength of the Commission, derived from the strong team spirit of the commissioners. From the outset of operations, that team spirit had been forged upon consensus decision-making and shaped by a shared commitment to doing the best job possible in bringing to light past human rights violations, understanding and promoting understanding of the context in which those violations occurred, and seeking to lay the groundwork for reconciliation and non-repetition of those violations. In that respect, I salute my national colleagues, Vice Chair Michael Green, and Commissioners Mary-Therese Purvis, Jacques Hui, and Archbishop Wong for their overriding commitment to the mandate of the Commission, for their resilience in the face of adversity, and for the sacrifices they made, both professional and personal, in the interests of the Commission. And I thank them for both the good and the bad times we shared, for the agreements and the disagreements, the frustrations and the laughter, and for the resolute collegiality that was born from that ability to openly communicate with each other as we strove towards our common goal, signified in the delivery of the final report today. With the public release of the final report, the Commission anticipates that it will be criticised, and it accepts that criticism is par for the course of the work of truth commissions the world over. It is criticism easily made, regardless of its veracity. The Commission hopes that in examining the veracity of any criticism made, attention will also be given to the motivation of the person making it. The Commission is acutely aware that its final report will not satisfy every Seychelles. The Commission was a fact-finding body mandated to investigate allegations of human rights violations related to the coup d'etat of 1977. In some of the complaints brought before the Commission, the subjective experiences and recollections of complainants were not confirmed by the objective investigations of the Commission, and no human rights violation could be found established. In a small number of other cases, the allegations made were found not to be related to the coup d'etat of 1977, and as the allegation fell outside the mandate of the Commission, no human rights violation could be found established. The Commission appreciates that for these complainants, the work of the Commission will be disappointing and may be perceived as a form of re-victimization. This was not the intention of the Commission. The Commission hopes that it will be understood that the Commission was not a panacea for every sense of unfairness or injustice felt by a Seychelles citizen, and not every sense of injustice constitutes a human rights violation related to the coup d'etat of 1977. The Commission also anticipates that its final report will not meet with the satisfaction of all or maybe any of the political parties in Seychelles. In that regard, the Commission, a non-partisan institution, has long been accused of lacking impartiality or being at all used in the pursuit of political power. These are also claims easily made, regardless of their legitimacy. And ironically, this type of criticism is not only a means of denigrating the work of the Commission, but itself aims to politicise the work of the Commission, presumably for political advantage. Yet while the Commission anticipates it will be criticised, it also expects that it will be applauded and that that applause will drown out any unjustified criticism made. As its final report will show, the Commission has acted beyond repute in the carrying out of its mandate. It has always maintained its independence and its impartiality, and it has closely guarded its integrity. It has made decisions that it had to make on the evidence adduced, even knowing that to do so may be disappointment or potential retaliation. It has been fearless and, by example, sought to lift the cloak of fear that hovered over Seychelles for years. It has acted honestly and transparently. It has taken responsibility for the mishaps it has made along the way and done its best to rectify its failings. It has been compassionate, empathetic, and understanding to those who have engaged in its processes. It has remained steadfast to its goal of reconciliation and withstood pressure to deviate towards the much easier path of retribution and revenge. It has prepared a detailed reparations policy that it hopes will be applied as a measure of bringing full closure to the suffering of the complainants. I am extremely proud of the work achieved by the Commission in exposing the past in Seychelles, of the closure it has brought to many of the complainants, and of the stepping stone it has created towards a better future for all Seychellois. It is now the responsibility of the national leaders, those holding political power and those wanting that power, as well as religious leaders, civil society, and others to embrace the reconciliatory ambitions of the Commission and to move forward with a shared understanding of the past towards a better future for all. The Commission hopes that its work will be used for the benefit of all Seychellois and not as a means of deepening the political divide in the service of party political interests. Thank you for your attention. No, thanks.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, for your comments. May I bid welcome to all senior officials of this country and to the commissioners, and of course to everyone who is following us live on TV and radio. Madam Chair and commissioners, may I first of all thank you for the report, but thank you above all for the hard work that you've put into discovering the truth, though I'm sure it's not always that you came to the truth. And also, I'm sure in your report, which I will definitely give all the time for me to understand, I hope that we will achieve national reconciliation. Though again, I share the feelings of the commissioners that maybe instances where we could have moved a little further were hindered by specific thoughts and comments that actually sought to destroy the work of the Commission. I am happy that the government has provided all the assistance to the Commission, even though at times, yes, it was tough, because the financial situation of the country did not allow us to give everything. And these were the occasions where the Commission and especially the Minister of Finance had some fights. But I am very happy that we've come to the end of another chapter in the history of Seychelles. And I would consider today, 31st of March, the day when the Electoral Commission will also certify the voters' register as a very important date, because we're looking ahead. We're looking at democracy. We're looking at new ways of doing things. And we're looking, above all, at the rule of law. And this is what your work entailed. Seeing how the rule of law was not followed and how a lot of things beyond the rule of law happened. The disappearances, the torture, the beatings, exile, and all the other categories, loss of business, all these were done outside the rule of law. And this is why when the National Assembly passed the motion to establish the Truth, Reconciliation and National Unity Commission back in 2018, it was a bipartisan act. And this is very important for our people to understand. It was a bipartisan act. Both parties, I as the leader of the opposition then, and the leader of government business, were the two main leaders to ensure that the work of the work was done, and not only the work was done, but that the law itself that would later guide the commission was also drafted. And on the, let me just get my date right, on the 6th of September 2018, when former President Danny Fore assented to the bill, again it was a clear act of bipartisanship. The intention to unite our people, to seek national unity, these were the elements that brought us together. And with President Fore, whom today I want to salute for having been brave to have assented to the law and to have given birth to the commission, I want to say thank you very much, President Fore. You showed magnanimity, and you also showed your love for Seychelles and how our people should move forward. So, in a sense, today sees the accomplishment, the fulfillment of a task that we set out in 2018, and the report will tell us not what went wrong necessarily, but more importantly, the final report will tell us what not to do in future, what not to repeat. And this is why I'm very happy that both the Chief of Defense Forces and the Commissioner of Police are here when the report is presented. And these are the shoulders on which the new Seychelles depend. And I will commend both senior officers to also read the reports to ensure that members of your respective forces never fall back on the practices that we will see in these reports. The rule of law must be above everything that we do at all times. You are not the court, you are not the judge, therefore do your duties according to the rule of law, and this will ensure that Seychelles will never have another commission in future. I see a lot of signs of hope, but at the same time, as I expressed in the State of the Nation, I also see a lot of worries. I am personally worried when I see certain attitude in society. When leaders fail to take their responsibility and provoke their own supporters to go outside the rule of law. And here, Madam Chair, This is the reason why we have clearly stated, and action has already, well, we've already taken certain action against those fanatical Facebook activists who do not promote anything good, but only promote insult, and insult, we know, will then provoke violence, and everything just continues from there. We are already taking strict measures to ensure that what happened in those dark years are not repeated. So the work that you did, people followed and cried, were shocked, and simply could not believe when certain witnesses were giving their evidence. I was also shocked at many times. I knew a lot of the things that had happened, but when the victims themselves were giving testimony, obviously, it was a different sentiment altogether. So you've had to sit through all these testimonies, and I am sure you need some counseling as well. You need some serious counseling. You're fine, okay. To be able to sort of get back to normal, because I'm sure after a day's hearing, when you went back home, that was the only thing in your mind, and there was a lot of pain. So thank you very much. I would also like to thank, of course, the staff of the TRNUC, because I know that the volumes of paper you had to go through, the transcriptions which are not completed yet, there's a lot. There's a lot that they did, and for that the country is ever so grateful. Looking ahead, what do we see? I think, of course, the first thing, everybody's looking forward to seeing what's in the report. And I will make the report public today. Okay, so the law says within a month, but I will be making the report public today. And not only will I be making the report today, but I will also be handing over the report to Mr. Speaker to have it laid before the National Assembly as required by the law. I do not want us to waste time, to drag. I want the National Assembly to play its role and to get on with the work that has been done over the last 3 years. I believe in the truth, and I believe people need to know what happened, and therefore, with the knowledge, as I mentioned earlier, to ensure that these things are not repeated. So, Madam Chair, on behalf of the country, I want to say thank you very much. You've done your sacrifice of coming to the Seychelles for these years, and not always easy. I know there must have been many times when you felt like giving up and going back to either Australia or somewhere else, but we are grateful that you stayed on and you persevered. And of course to all the commissioners too, for everything that you've done. Moi, envie de dire 3 paroles en créole. Aujourd'hui, nous recevons le rapport final Commission La Vérité et Réconciliation Nationale. Et pareil, mon fait qu'annoncer ce rapport pour le public aujourd'hui même, pour ne pas espérer, et pour le public aujourd'hui même, et pour aussi donner speaker copie ce rapport, pareil, la loi y demandait qu'ils m'ont fait dans l'espace 1 mois, mais mon envie déjà donne speaker de l'Assemblée nationale, copie ce rapport pour lui capable place devant l'Assemblée et après pour l'Assemblée faire son débat. Ça 3 ans, il est 3 ans remplis avec l'émotion pour les peuples cécélois. On connaît qui Channel 3, il vient l'OSBC, il vraiment vient sa channel qui beaucoup ces lois, ils suivent pour autres connaître exactement quoi qu'il arrive. Et pas seulement pour autres connaître quoi qu'il arrive, mais pour autres aussi découvrir beaucoup de les autres aspects. Chaque fois qu'on regarde quelque chose dans différentes façons. Et pendant sa bonne session, bien sûr, du monde est choqué, du monde est pleuré, du monde pas nous les croire, ça qu'ils autres peut tendre. Et beaucoup de monde est masse avec un l'amertume. Et c'est ça qui fait que beaucoup de monde demandé est-ce qu'il vraiment nous pouvons gagner une réconciliation nationale après que nous entendons tout ça là, ou bien est-ce qu'il y a quelque chose pas pour réconcilier? L'étant certain non, il y a un nom comme un monde qui est responsable pour certaines actions, actions criminelles, des gens choqués. Mais là, à présent, tout ça là, nous avons besoin de regarder qui manière nous résoudre cette bonne situation. Bien sûr, un autre sujet qui nous vient beaucoup à l'attention publique, c'est ça, c'est compensation. Qui manière moi prendre dans le rapport, il y a une bonne proposition pour compensation. Et tout ça là, c'est quelque chose qui le pays a besoin d'analyser. Et c'est là que Mr. Speaker, mon compte l'Assemblée nationale, les temps où on va faire un bon débat pour nous mettre certaines propositions devant le gouvernement pour regarder combien, qui qualité de compensation, qui qualité quelque chose qui peut permettre nous à le devant. So, m'ont demandé qu'ils prennent ça bien en considération et après ça, le côté de l'exécutif, moi, va attendre d'autres rapports pour nous regarder qu'il y a quelque chose pour aller. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, il vrai, il y en a beaucoup de monde qui causent l'eau là. C'est des monde qui taxpayers, comme si nous ne sommes pas responsables pour les bonnes affaires. Nous ne pas devons payer compensation. Ou bien certains disent que les perpetrators qui devraient être payés. Il y a différentes qualités l'argument qui me met devant, mais nous avons besoin de tenir ce débat national pour nous capables d'avancer devant. Mais aujourd'hui, nous qui nous pouvons recevoir ce rapport final, et encore une fois, les 31 mars, c'est un jour important pour nos pays parce que c'est un jour qui résiste voter et certifié. Il résiste voter et certifié, il montre nous quelle direction nous prenons comme un pays. Une direction démocratique, une direction qui dit avec nous, soit lesquels les dirigeants de nos pays pour gagner faire à travers boîte de voter. Ça donne quelque chose qui dans ce rapport, une action criminelle qui n'arrive, il n'y a pas façon qui nous paye pour bouger devant. Il n'y a pas façon qui nous fait quelque chose. Et c'est pour sa raison que mon content qui brigadier Rosette avec commissionnaire Barbé, il est avec nous. Je dis ça des gens qui ont une principale responsabilité pour la sécurité dans nos pays. Et dans sa bonne base rapport, il peut montrer beaucoup l'instance que soit garde ou bien militaire, il participe dans sa bonne action atroce. Et alors, aujourd'hui, on fait un nouveau appel, pareil, on fait depuis qu'on prend l'office avec brigadier et avec commissionnaire de la police pour faire ainsi que nos pays maintenir ce qui en anglais on appelle the rule of law. Qu'aucun militaire pas suivre une action qui est illégale pour lui attaquer un autre cessez-loi. Qu'aucun policier pas fait aucune action malicieuse, encore une fois, pour attaquer un cessez-loi. Mais qui tout quelque chose qu'il fait droite. Et c'est là que le rôle attorney général, il y a un qui est vraiment important, et mon connaît qui peut dire le travail très près ensemble pour faire ci, qui aucune action, qui est action qui est garde il prend, qui est illégale, qui est action qui est militaire il prend, qui est illégale. Bureau attorney général, comment ça, l'office qui en sage prosecution, il peut prendre action. Il peut prendre action. Alors, autres commencent à trois dire monde là qui en a sa responsabilité pour l'ordre et la paix et pour faire si que la justice y suive. Je demande aux autres, s'il vous plaît, continuez à faire ce travail qu'ils peuvent faire là. Et mon collègue qui peut dire qu'ils sont vraiment consciencieux dans ce travail parce qu'ils sont consciencieux de la direction qui nous pays y envie d'aller. Alors, je demande aux autres, s'il vous plaît, à nous faire ce qui nous pays pas retourner encore dans sa bonne situation et qu'il n'y ait aucune action illégale il gagne properly investigated et que la justice il gagne établie. Alors, peuple c'est loin, mon mazinin qui là qui ça rapport il y avait une public aujourd'hui, il y a beaucoup de débats. Mais m'ont demandé qui nous fait ça débat avec avec un esprit calme, avec un esprit en paix, avec un esprit qui réfléchit. On nous pas acquisé, on nous pas tombe aux conclusions qui pas bonne vraie conclusion, on nous laisse sa processus continuer. Et on nous fait bon commentaire qui pour aider à construire nos pays et non pas bon commentaire qui pour détruire nos pays. Réconciliation nationale, pas facile. Et m'aurait dit ça encore, moi a l'expérience directe. Moi gagné électé en bas un thème, c'est celle pour tous ses enfants. Et mon connaît que il est difficile. Parce que chacun, il y en a quelque chose dans son équerre. Chacun, il y en a quelque chose qui n'est arrivé avec lui. Et le temps où on peut dire, on nous regarde d'une nouvelle façon, pas tout le monde qui paraît pour faire ça. Mais nous, comme un gouvernement, nous avons besoin de continuer de ça l'esprit réconciliation nationale. Nous avons besoin de continuer de ça l'esprit l'unité pour ça peuple c'est loin. Si nous n'avons pas l'unité, si nous ne pouvons pas réconcilier, ça peuple pour mal finir. Nous pour finir loin brisant. Alors, m'ont demandé qu'il y ait un débat dans l'Assemblée nationale et un débat qui pourrait faire dans différents programmes, la télévision, la radio, tous les différents médias, qui tout ça là fait dans l'esprit calme, dans l'esprit qui me pour nous avancer ce pays plus devant. Parce qu'après tout, c'était ça, l'État nous a établi sa commission pour la vérité et la réconciliation nationale. Aujourd'hui, il marque conclusion un travail. Mais il est important pour moi de dire côté ce travail, c'est commencé. Et ce travail, c'est commencé dans un certain sens entre deux hommes. Ancien président Danifor, comme président en 2018, et moi-même comme leader de l'opposition. Et nous sommes d'accord qui peut dire que ce processus, il peut un processus bipartisan. Et c'est pour ça raison que la loi, si elle est passée sans grand débat, à cause de tous les deux côtés, nous sommes d'accord. Et après ça, le président Ford a assent à la loi sans aucun problème encore. Alors, je me demandé qui dans l'esprit l'unité, qui l'opposition, avec parti gouvernement, soit capable de faire ce travail ensemble pour nous capables d'atteindre ça l'autre pas qui nous envie d'arriver. Je souhaite que c'est ça l'esprit qui dirige le débat, c'est ça l'esprit qui dirige nos pays et qui dirige nos peuples. Avec ces deux trois paroles, j'ai envie de remercier Mme McIntyre pour qui a accepté sa rôle comme chairperson de sa commission, tout le commissionnaire qui est là présent, M. Jacques, Mme Purvis, l'archevêque James et vice-chair, M. Michael Green. Merci beaucoup pour tout la nuit blanche même qu'ils ont gagné. Vous êtes capables de faire ce travail et tout le staff de cette commission qui a assisté. Moi, je dis tout merci beaucoup. Et à présent, Mr. Speaker, il demande l'honneur pour moi de présenter une copie d'une façon symbolique sa commission, sa rapport. Et en faisant ça,
Je vais dire avec vous.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our ceremony for this morning. Thank you for being with us, and I wish you all a pleasant day. And for those who have been viewing live on SBC, we thank you and wish you a pleasant day as well. And we will now resume the normal programming. Thank you and have a nice day.